Ask questions.
Get answers.
This is Experts on Call
On News Talk 580 CFRA.
The Ottawa Fall Home Show returns to the EY Centre next weekend, the 28th of September through Sunday, the 1st of October. Another great show certainly promised. The guests this hour, Robert Johnston, he's the show manager, and Marilena Tricarico, who you heard just before the break from the show sponsor, Renault Assistance. But right now, though, I'd like to welcome back Jason Burgraff, Executive Director for the Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association. Good afternoon once again, Jason.
Definitely, Dave. Thanks for having me on again.
You're welcome, Jason. It's always a pleasure. It's been a long time. It's been a year, I guess, since we last spoke. Certainly a lot of water. Yeah, indeed. A lot of water under the bridge, Jason, since our last conversation. Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association at the Fall Home Show is coming up next weekend. And coming up, we're going to take a look at that, including the coming GOHBA Awards. And that's something that is always anticipated, always exciting, and the Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association in general at the Fall Home Show. But right now, though, Jason, right off the top, the state of the housing industry right now, certainly looking at the demand and supply sides, the recent elimination of the GST on new rental apartment builds. What are some of your thoughts on the situation these days?
Yeah, the few announcements from the federal government over the past number of days are really exciting. It really shows that governments are really starting to take concrete steps to reduce the cost it takes to build housing and to increase that supply. Like for the taking off GST off a new rental building, if you think about like a 100-unit apartment building, that could be easily about $1.7 million worth of tax that would typically have applied to that building. Now it doesn't. And now if the province steps up and takes off the PST off that construction cost as well, which is what they're signaling they're going to do, you're doubling that savings, if not even more. So you're actively reducing those hard costs to build construction, which is going to equal to, more housing affordability.
Now, Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association, you've been with that association for a long time. Let's talk about that and their mission statement.
Yeah, my fifth year with the Home Builders Association, which has been around for over 75 years now. And of course, the big thing we focus on is housing policy at the municipal level and advocacy. We bring together all the home builders so that they can speak with one voice to the city, to city council and to city hall, and really try to represent, that industry with the city so that they can help improve what the housing supply is across the city, and for residents to get that needed housing. The real focus is on increasing housing supply and trying to provide things as affordable as possible. So we take a lot of housing policy and provide, constructive comments as to how to make it most efficient, how to make it most affordable, and what's most practical.
Well, the association has a long history in the Ottawa area, Jason. How many members are currently in that association? And I guess it keeps growing all the time.
Yeah, we've seen a tremendous growth over the past year and a half as we really start stepping out of COVID. GOHBA has jumped from about 350 members to over 415 members in the past year and a half. So we're seeing a lot of excitement about what's happening, about the activity and the action that we're undertaking. So it's been a really great growth for us, and getting bigger every day.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about some of the services that the association provides to builders in general.
Yeah, so our big things obviously are our advocacy, but we also bring on training. So training for energy efficiency, for new construction standards, and what have you. And then we also offer up a lot of recognition programs and professional development forums. So again, that professional management, that business learning, and like I said, the award show, which I'm sure we'll talk about more.
Yeah, we certainly will. Why is it so important to hire a professional when building is required?
So for building, and especially for renovation, you want to deal with someone who's going to treat you right. So, a big portion of dealing with a professional person is getting your contract in writing. That's your comfort, that's your comfort blanket in terms of dealing with either getting a new home constructed or having a significant renovation done. You want to have that thing in writing so that you have that backstop, so that you have that guarantee from that contractor. And it's really the very first step if you want to, have surety at night that you're handing over a big chunk of cash. There's no doubt about it. And if you want to have that security that you're going to get a job done and you're going to be dealt with in a professional manner, you should get that written contract from a member of GOHBA.
Jason, so many activities coming up. GOHBA is so involved and active in the community and generally. Let's take a look at some of the GOHBA events coming up, including, I guess, the Reno Tour. That's not too far away. And the LEAP Renovation Forum. Let's talk about those two.
Yeah, Reno Tour is one of my favorite times, coming up October 1st. So on the Sunday at the home show thing, finish off the home show and then come out. So what it actually is you can go around to 7 different spots across the city and actually see, real renovations that have happened that, in people's homes. The companies that undertook those renovations are right there to answer questions. So if you want to see, how other people did their kitchens, you can go and actually see it in real life, right? Get a feel for the space and actually talk to the people who did the work as well. So you get a real sense of, what you can do in your own home. For LEAP renovation, that's really kind of one of those professional development pieces. LEAP focuses on energy efficiency. And in this particular case, it's about renovations. More and more, we're seeing people do not just cosmetic renovations, but actually increasing the energy performance of their home so that they reduce those heating and cooling costs and get a longer life out of their house.
Absolutely. And adding value to the home as well, which is so important these days. Let's talk about the GOHBA Awards. I know that this is something that a lot of folks are really interested in. It's the 40th annual awards. It's coming up. Let's talk about how visitors to the Fall Home Show can sort of find out what these awards are all about. Yeah,
so every year we have a nice big booth. You can't miss it. It's going to be 20 by 50 feet wide, right near the entrance, right next to the stage at the home show, actually. So when you walk in, it'll be very hard to miss. And what you'll see are essentially our big display boards with pictures and descriptions of renovations, of new builds, of outdoor amenity spaces, of new office spaces. It runs the gambit of design, construction, and renovation. So people can kind of peruse, and I always encourage people just to go and look and get ideas. If you have if you have an inkling that you want to do something with your house, but you're not even really sure, you want to, expand the livable space in the basement, or you want to play around with the outdoors, come take a look, get some ideas. It's like walking through an IKEA showroom, right? But there's going to be an infinite number of more of opportunities and possibilities for you to kind of consider there.
Wow, that sounds terrific. Now, is there any kind of interactive activity that visitors to the show can take part in? Like, can they vote on anything? Is this something that they would vote on?
Yeah, so one of the awards that we do for our awards program is actually the People's Choice Award. So what we do is we hold online rounds of voting, one of which is happening right now on bathrooms, actually, at gohbavote.ca. So you can actually go look at all the finalists for this year that are in the bathroom renovation category. Take a look through that. You can pick your favorites. And then actually at the home show, you're going to see the winners of all of 6 rounds of voting, and it's broken down, by production homes, custom homes, renovations, kitchens, bathrooms, and then design details. So you'll see the people who won those previous rounds of voting will be the major part of voting at the home shows. You can pick kind of the number one project for this year. And those who do cast a ballot for their choice also get entered into a draw for 2 Senators tickets for the upcoming year. So, get inspired and perhaps get a little prize as well.
That sounds terrific. Now, it's all at booth 1023, just inside the main entrance, I think you were saying.
Yeah, it's 1033, and right inside, if you come through the main doors, if you see the stage, we're going to be right next to that. So it's impossible to miss.
Fantastic. Now, one more question, Jason. I'm curious, How can the professional builder benefit from the show?
So the real big thing is, talking to people, getting an idea of what people are starting to look for in both new homes and renovations, right? We get lots of intentional surveys from recent home buyers that say, energy efficiency is becoming more important than, glammed out countertops. It's really starting, connecting with the people who are still looking for a project, or who are thinking about starting a renovation or buying a home in the next year or two. So you're building up that new business that's going to be coming down the pipeline. So it's a critical thing to kind of keep in touch with what people are looking for moving forward, and you can adjust, what you offer based on the feedback that you're getting.
Hey, Jason, we're out of time. Thanks again. Great information and best wishes for a great home show. It's coming up next weekend at the EY Center.
Thanks very much, Dave. Appreciate the time.
You're welcome, Jason. And a reminder, booth 1033, that's the booth you need to know to find Jason Berggraf and the Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association. Experts on Call will return in just a sec right after the break, and we'll get back into our conversation with Robert Johnston. He's the manager of the Ottawa Fall Home Show, coming up on News Talk 580 CFRA.
Ask questions.
Get answers.
This is Experts on Call
On News Talk 580 CFRA.